Outside family. I want to thank you all. First of all, oh, by the way, man, the auditorium is beautiful. When I was here last time, there was talk about things were going on in here, so we met there, at the fellowship building. But I'm telling you, this is just beautiful, just beautiful. My wife was planning to be with me. When I was here last time, she was experiencing shingles. She's come almost all the way back now, and she's fine. But I have my mom and dad are having some problems, so she's having to take care of them, help them a little bit, and so we kind of had to divide and conquer. But like I say, every time I come here, I'm not here to rehash what we had already done. I want you to see our progress. Okay. So first of all, let's deal with Shine. Shine is spiritually helping in nurturing and equipping. And just to remind everybody, our work is broken down, okay, in good works and good news. All the good works is to motivate people to listen, to embrace, and hopefully to accept what the good news message offers. And so we've begun in the country of Namibia. Remember when we started, you were helping us. We were started in Zimbabwe. And now we are in 5 countries, about to head into a 6th. Namibia is our latest. These are 2 new preachers that have come on board. And Theo Scullard on the left is based in Cape Town, and Johannes Peters is in Namibia. It's a big country. It's a little bit bigger than Texas. And it has a lot of little cities, and there's a lot of great work going on. So this is for our first opportunity. This is the first church. We planted 3 churches this year, okay, so far. And this is the one we did in Keetmanshoop. That's really not a name we'd be familiar with, but it's the Dutch word for a town there in Namibia. And these are some of the new Christians there. And this has been planted since I was here last, okay? This is some of the ladies, new Christians, that go around. They said, take our picture because we go around and we set up Bible studies. They go knock on doors, and, it's still very effective then. Methods change as communities change. There was a time in the United States, especially in the 60s, when the churches of Christ were growing so fast. Door knocking, gospel meetings, all of that was going on, but it kind of changes. It's still very effective in Namibia, and we have experienced in Namibia this year, I think it's about 89 baptisms, and this is one, of course, that you see there. This is a second church. We planted 3, okay? We planted one in Zambia, and we planted and a second one in Zambia, then one in Zimbabwe here. And so I love the method of the preacher, because, he's planted 5 churches, and he goes into rural areas, and you know what he does? He begins a boys and girls club. And they start feeding, they play games, they start studying, and then he'll ask the parents, could they come on a Sunday? We do Sunday school. Well, guess what happens? Here comes mom and dad, And so out of these children, this church began. And this was also begun this year. And there was the opening service. And so they had a tent. Well, apparently the tent wasn't big enough. And so we are just so excited, of what's going on. And let me just let me remind you all, this is part of your work, okay? We are partners together. So when you think about what Southside has done when you get towards the end of the year and you evaluate and you want to maybe give a report to the church or what's happened this year, this is a big part of your work. Because whatever you do, whether you considered a little or a lot, it is huge in Africa. And I want to thank you, because I've told people, I said, I'm in a sweet spot. What do you mean by that? I mean, I was born and raised in Africa, and God has given me the wonderful privilege to develop relationships with people here in America like yourselves. And we're in a receptive area now, and it's making a huge difference, okay? We have been able to distribute over 600 Bibles, which means immense amount, because those Bibles are read And for most of those Bibles, they're going to homes that they don't have a Bible. And so that's their first Bible. So whether we give it to someone that has just been immersed into Christ, or whether we just hand out to Christian families, they've never had a Bible in their home, that's a no-brainer for us, isn't it? So this summer, we had 3 campaigns. And we had them separate. We had people from Texas and Kentucky. We had from Farmington, by the way. We had from Alabama, Florida, Indiana. Where else? I said Texas already. This lady in the middle here is Rogerlyn. She comes with us every other year, and she's a great teacher, and she did a women's retreat. So I invite any of you ladies that have been teaching a lot, whether it's children or not, come on a campaign with us, We go every summer. It's a great time to go to Africa because it's winter there. And what I mean by winter, the days in the 70s, the nights in the 40s, and there's no creepy crawlers. They're all hibernating. Come on. It's a good time to go. This is in July. I want you to see that. It's a ladies' retreat. Look what they're wearing. That's kind of odd, eh? Because in July, we sweating here, But that's how it is. So if you want to miss a few 90-degree days or 100-degree days, come on, and that was in Zambia. That was taken in Zambia. We have begun in the last 3 years radio programs. And radio is still a very powerful tool there. Most people don't have all the access to all kinds of opportunities through mass media that we have here. So radio is still important. And we've immersed, I think it was 67 through the radio program already this year. And we have a radio program in Zambia, and we have one in Zimbabwe. They are new, and we're reaching probably about 30 million people that we are starting to really create a wonderful discourse with people that are calling in. And our segments are made up of a time of teaching, and then call in and ask your questions. And a lot of it's done live. And it's been very, very effective. I wanted to show this picture. This is teenage Christian boys in Africa. And they are just like teenage Christian boys here in America. Everybody likes a barbecued steak. We had a devotional, we had a cooked steak, man, and they just, and for them especially, because they probably had, some of them, that might have been their first one, but apparently they are already connected to beef. This is me standing, and I think I showed this when I was here last, because we were right on the verge. Well, we had just opened the school when I was here last, okay? This is 2015. This is the land that was given us by the government for our school campus, okay? So this is what I think I showed you. We carved that out. You know how we carved it out? Well, you got all these big bulldozers. No, we did have one, but mothers and grandmothers and fathers and sons and grandfathers came out and they cleared the land, because in that part of Africa, they've never had a high school. Those grandmothers, those mothers, they wanted their children and grandchildren to have a high school education, and they came and cleared that land. It was quite amazing, okay? So Amazon Christian Academy is opened. When I was here last time, this is what I showed you, because you saw those 2 buildings. That's the end of the second building. On the right of that building is we are building a reservoir for every building. Now, we drill water, but you can never have enough water in Africa. So we want, during the rainy season, to collect the rain off the roofs. That reservoir, after 4 days of rains has just started now, was full. It's about an 8,000-gallon reservoir. And then we start just giving the water away, because it's got to fill up again real quick. And we want every one of our classroom wings to have that, okay? So it's the kind of the first in Southern Africa. Never seen that done before. So that's another great water source. I'll tell you one reason why we're doing it in a minute. But when I was here last time, I showed you that picture because I said we were going to build the 3rd classroom wing. That's the Bible science wing, okay? And we wanted the Bible and science wing to go together because we want our students to know that not fake science, but science and the Bible go together. Not fake science that says there was nothing and then a cosmos came. No. But there was a creator. There was an intelligent designer. So we want that to go together. Now, when I left here, I was presented with a check for $12,000. And I called Africa immediately. In fact, I think I told one of the elders, I said, I can't wait to get out of here. Not that I wanted to leave you all, but I just wanted to go make a call. And I said, you do not stop with that. And so we got to there, and we got to there. And I want to thank you all for making that possible, okay? And so right now we're finishing the inside, and the school year there is like our normal here, not like here where we start in August. They start January this school year. So we want to finish the inside now. So, by the way, we do lack, it's about 10,000 to finish the inside. We lack 3,500. If anybody wants to help, we get that finished. But I want to thank you because you made it possible. And I wanted you to see that roof was, we've had supply shortages. We had to wait, but anyway, we got it done and that was finished. That roof was put on last week. So we're really excited. It just needs to be ready for January the 10th. And so we feel like we can have it all done by then, no problem. We've already ordered the windows. So that's the school, Amazon Christian Academy. And as I mentioned, this summer, we had 3 teams to come. And by the way, I would love to have a team come from Southside sometime. You know, we take all ages, you know. We take those that are wanting their independence, which is called teens, and those that want to preserve their independence, called retirees. We take them all. So come. This is our students, and I think I'm not sure if I told you this, but you know the blue and white uniforms, it took a lot of decision making. Now I'm being sarcastic because Jackson Christian in Tennessee, Mars Hill Bible School in Florence, Alabama, they are our sister schools, and their uniforms are blue and white, okay? So when they get the uniforms, oh, well, our uniforms, you know, blue and white too. This was what they, remember, this is our freshman class. We're doing one year, you know, so our sophomores, we'll have a sophomore class in January, but that's our freshman class, and they're already going in the community, connecting. They were cleaning up, you know, in different parts of the community. And we want them to make a great connection. This school is a vehicle for evangelism. We want to win those hearts and minds to the Lord. And then we want them to know what, when you plant a church, which we have on campus, what a church does. So when they graduate from our school, they know exactly how to plant a church. And I'm not just talking about high school students. You know what our goal is? Our goal is to build a Christian university like David Lipscomb or Freed Hardman or Harding. That's our goal. And so some of those students might be with us 10 years. And if they are, when they leave, they're going to know how to plant churches, okay? So they got backpacks, and I want to thank you. So, in fact, I'm picking up some backpacks today. Well, let me just say, I got a wonderful load from you all. My son, somebody came up to me this morning and said, Dorian, there were some heavy boxes of books. How did you manage that? And I said, I sent my son. No, but he doesn't mind. You know, he's still young enough to brag about what he loaded, you know. I don't brag anymore. I complain, you know, but he does. So he came. So thank you, Southside, for all that you got. And then I'm also picking up some backpacks from Eagle Way and from Little River. I'm supposed to meet at Eagle Way after church, and and I'm also picking up some books here as well after church. So thank you. This is awesome. But can you imagine these students who grow up in mud huts, and you mention backpack to them, and they go, huh? I don't even have money for shoes, because that's the houses they live in, okay? And I think I might have showed you that before, but I'm just telling you, that's where they live. And so for them to have uniforms is wonderful. because it puts everybody on an even playing field, as it were, Monday through Friday, because some of them wouldn't have had shoes. Some of them would have to wear the same shirt and shorts every single day. So we are thankful for that. Now, this picture is really, so on the right is my grandson. So when I showed you the sign that said Amazon Christian Academy, that was my son who came and got all the book, got your load this past week. Okay, so him and his son came. His name is Lee, and that's Boston. So I got Boston to sit behind the desk. And the reason I got him to sit behind the desk is because those desks were donated by Mars Hill Bible School, and his father sat behind those desks, except in Alabama. Of course, it's minus the gum. We got rid of all that bubblicious or whatever, you know. It wasn't. So I thought that was special. But here is this other one. So you saw the houses they come out of. So that means there's no indoor plumbing, there's no power. They have never, they have, you know, the media, I mean, all the access, the iPhones and all that our children have and we have, I mean, you know, they've never touched anything like that. So what we have done at our high school is, besides being off the grid and having our own water, we want to be as self-sustaining as possible. We're now, because of technology today, we are hooked up to satellites. So we bought what they call school in a box. If you looked at it, it's a metal box, okay? And if you saw it, you'd say, man, Dorian's coming hunting in Africa because it looks like there'd be guns in it. Well, when you open it up, it's all iPads. So this is the first day that those students touched an iPad. Now, background. In Africa, if an adult walks into a classroom, everyone stands up. All the students stand up. That's just part of it, whether you're a teacher or not, adult. So I had been there a few days already, walked in class, stand up. Good morning, Mr. Flynn. Good morning, you know. I walk in this day, nobody even looks at me. You can keep your protocol. I mean, they were just so fixated, you know. And I said, well, it might have been dormant because they didn't have it, but all this generation comes wired, man, you know. And it was just fantastic. And the reason I wanted you to see that picture also is because they're going to be able to learn, because of this, they're going to be able to learn everything that our children learn here in the States, even though they're in the bush in Africa. So we're giving them such a, when I look at that old mud hut they grow out of, I just think about, I don't know if I'll be here. I might be home in heaven already. But there's going to become a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, successful farmer that's going to come out of that mud hut. And because they were given the chance of a lifetime. So this is our sports field, and the reason I want to show you that is because remember when I was standing in the bush? That's it now. That's it now. We've got an 8-lane track, and we're going to surface it sometime. Just can't do it right now. And I want you to see what we did with that bush. Look at that grass, you know. Whether you like soccer or football or whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I just want you to see the grass, you know. Do you know that is the only sports field in a 100-mile radius that has that green stuff on it called grass? You know what that means? That means we've got another income stream, because they've already requested to hold regional championships, track and field events, and all that there, and that's going to give a constant income stream to the school. Besides our cattle, by the way, we're up to 220 head right now, cattle. And besides our tomato plants and agriculture and that. So this is my grandson in the middle and his friend. And they came, so we opened up the school in February, Valentine's Day. And by the summer, we got 200 kids on campus. I mean, we've got 50 students that we've started with, 25 boys, 25 girls. We're doing one grade a year. And the reason we're doing a small amount is because we're going to make mistakes. We want them to be small, okay? But the school is going to eventually be built for 1,200 students. Half will be boarders. They'll come from other countries in Africa, okay? But while the school is happening, we are bringing other students in for VBS during the summer, for Christian soccer camp, Christian baseball camp. These three guys that are with these baseball players from Zimbabwe, they went to Harding University and they played baseball for Harding, and they played some baseball overseas. Faithful Christian men came over, and we just made such an impact. And we also had a couple of high school players. I don't know if there's any in this auditorium that plays baseball and soccer, but they joined them in being a part of this, you know. We're trying to make our invitation as wide as possible, you know. So here are some of the guys that came this summer, and we went to this special place there. It's Granite Hills. We climbed and everything, but we had a good time. This was our VBS that we had. It was quite special. We had over 300 kids during the summer come from the primary schools that are going to come into our high school. Remember, there's 5 primary schools in the area. We're the only high school. So we are connecting with those. I want to tell you what one teacher did. We didn't know it until the second day was over. She brought a group to our VBS. It was her grade. So she comes back the next day. It just happened that our teams had changed, but she brought the same group, and she said, I know I must repent. That's what she said. I said, why? He says, because it was so good, I couldn't tell the other teachers. I had to bring my group back. So I mean, we didn't know it until the end, but it just shows you the impact that we're making. So this is Sherry and myself, and we gave them Bibles. Can I just share the story with you? This mother that came to me and said, I'm so thankful that you gave my daughter a Bible. She said, because our family doesn't have a Bible. And now that we are new Christians, we've decided that we as a family are going to read the Bible one night every week. What a concept. So here we are with our mom project. And let me say, Southside has helped in all of these aspects, whether it's collectively or whether it's as individuals, okay? This is the feeding we're doing in Lesotho right now. We're feeding over 2,000 children a week. In fact, this year so far, we have fed between children and those experiencing drought over 200,000. This is our Amazon Medical Clinic. And I want you to know that these nurses here are just so special Christian women. You know that we've been praying for them so intently. They didn't get their vaccine for COVID. They got it in March of this year, okay? And they are on frontline medicine. What do I mean by that? They treat TB, they treat AIDS, and they treat COVID. Besides, we had 34 babies born there. We've had 250 since 2017, born there. But none of them got sick. We are so thankful to God. We've had groups praying all over for them. This is our ACT project that you have given us a healthy load to put in, and I appreciate that. This arrived in Zambia. We've had a problem. As you might know, it took us a while to come get this because the supply chain has been horrendous. Healing Hands does all our paperwork for us in Nashville, and Joseph Smith said he's never seen this. He says, I've been working here, I think almost 20 years. He said, I've never seen anything like this. So we were able to send this one off 2 Fridays ago, our 45th container. And then we're working on our 46th container, which the load we got from you will go on that. But I mean, it's just, it's been very frustrating so far. But anyway, I think maybe it's starting to move a little bit now. You know, one container, and you're between 15 and 25 congregations in their communities, you think of the impact you can have, you know. By the way, I took this picture. I pulled it out of the archives because this is one of the pictures. This is the well. This is one of the wells you did here at Southside. And I remember Jimmy Stamps coming up to me and having a big drive, saying, man, our class is going to do a well. And then there was an individual that said they're going to do a well. Well, this is one of your wells. Now, I can't show all the wells you did, but I do want you to know that's how many people we're providing water for every single day. So you figure out the population of Hoptown, and then that'll tell you how many people 300,000 every single day is getting clean water because of individuals and congregations like you. And you know what that does? Just remember, we don't drill it randomly. We don't do that. We drill. Our end game is that they know living water, Jesus Christ. So it's where we plant a church, or maybe where a church is meeting at a school, or where we have a church already planted, We have a goal in mind. And 300,000 people. And by the end of the year, it'll be more than that. So here is the stats for the year. This is just the Shine program, I want you to know. 3 new churches planted, and 92 churches, by the way, have been planted in 15 years. 32 leadership family enrichments and youth events, and over 816 so far. Now, can I just clarify something? When it comes to people being immersed into Christ, we're never going to know the total number, only when we get to heaven one day, because it's just, our work is so broad, but best we can so far this year. And then our 2 radio programs with 67 that obey the gospel. And right now, 131 home Bible studies in 5 countries going on. And so we are thankful. And then this year is I just wanted you to see some of the stats of our free clinic. Babies born this year, 34, immunized, 784. Outpatient treatments like snake bites, or we had one boy that was run over by a car, or, just all kinds of things like that. That clinic, there was never a clinic in that area. People would just die. Do you know that 4 women a day in Zimbabwe die giving birth? 4 women a day, because they have no access whatsoever. And when complications arise, it's just, and in the States, it would be a no-brainer, okay? Anyway, family planning services, postnatal services. I mean, there's just so much good that's been done. And just realize that at our clinic, we also have where we give out, Bible correspondence courses, and we study. And we've had the church that we planted on the campus of our high school, and the clinic is right next to it. That church has gone, we started with 8, and now we're bumping about 200, I think it'll be the largest church in Zimbabwe probably in time to come. But anyway, we are thankful. We are thankful. I don't know what the time is. You've done a good thing. You have not put a clock here, so it means the preacher can go as long as he wants. No. Where are we as far as time? 15 more minutes? Okay. So let me ask you, does anybody have a question they'd like to ask me? I'll end early, I'm not one to push it if I've said what I've got to say, But, sorry. The 500 what? Oh, sorry. I thought you said 500. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, so we're in Zimbabwe, Namibia, Eswatini, which has changed its name. It used to be Swaziland. Lesotho, South Africa, okay? But Namibia is the new country we've just got into. Zambia is the one we've been in a while. So it's really 6 that we are now really poised to go. We were poised to go into Namibia next year, but it came earlier. So that's where we are. When we started, we were just in Zimbabwe, and now it's just grown immensely. And so it's finding the key people. One reason why our work is so blessed is because, well, I was born in Cape Town, raised in Zimbabwe, so it's kind of, that whole area is kind of my wheelhouse because I've been going back over the years. But people that we're working with there some are first generation, some are second generation Christians, and some were in the youth group when I was there. And so now our children are grown, and our children are with us too. We have our son and our daughter that works with us now. not quite full time yet, but they're heading that way. And then I've got a grandson who, in fact, I think I might have one more. Hold on just a minute. I might have put that there. Yes, one final slide. You know, grandparents, they want to do, the reason I want to show that is Tristan's a senior. And he said when he was, I guess he was about 12 or 13, he got his brother and his cousin together, and he said, now listen, when grandma and granddad die, we'll take over. And so they came and brought that message to us. And I said, wait a minute, don't get us in a hurry here. But he's 18 now, and very, very strong physically, can bench 350, leg press 500, but he loves the Lord. And when this summer, when we had the soccer camp, he was part of them that conducted it, okay? Because he also plays soccer as well. So the first day these guys came, all these young boys that wanted to be part of the camp, out of the initial group was 65. I think it was only 5 that had soccer shoes. The rest were bare feet. So what did he do? You can see the picture on the right. He's having lunch, but he's got no shoes on. Because when he saw them, he took his shoes off. Now, he's found out his feet weren't quite as tough as theirs. So he did have some problems. But the reason I'm bringing him up is because he says, Granddad, before I do anything after I graduate, I want to come and spend 2 months in Africa. And so what I'm saying is, who knows? He might decide to go that route as well and help us. So I'll close with this. That's an artist's depiction of Jesus being taken down from the cross, and that's his hand with, that definitely was pierced. I'm glad that our hearts have been pierced by the love of Christ. And I just want to say thank you to you all. I'm not talking just about what you do to help us, Partners for Africa. I'm talking about Southside, and what Southside has meant to this community through the decades. And I am so thankful because it is just as important for churches to be here making a difference in our constantly changing culture as what we are doing in Africa. And so I thank you for your love for God. And some of you have been here decades and have your stories, but you've come. And I'm thankful for this church. Let's have a prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day and for all the blessings that you give us. And we are thankful because this day is so special. We remember the victory that we have through you, and we are thankful. In Jesus' name, amen. See the clock down there.